Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Executive Cabinet Member for Highways Transport Services meeting. Item 1 is monitoring of the decisions. Any question on that?
Councillor Hayes is indicating.
Councillor Hayes, please.
Yes, thank you, Executive Member. A question on the disability and safeguarding training. I think we said a couple of months ago we would warn people we might suspend licences if they didn't take it. If we're taking this training seriously, I think we need to do something like that, although obviously I wouldn't want to put people's livelihoods in jeopardy. Can I have an update, please, of exactly where we are with that now?
Miss Klein is here, if that helps.
Yeah, which is helpful. Yeah. Do you want me to update?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so we are currently working through the list of those that haven't completed it. Once we've got that completed list, we'll be sending a final reminder which will outline that if they don't complete or book on, we'll be suspending. We will give them a couple of weeks in that letter to complete that task, and if they've not completed it, we'll then be sending out suspension letters. So we're hoping that task will be completed in September.
Yes.
Can I just have it clarified, Executive Member, that this won't be the first time that people will have told that they risk losing their licences or having them suspended if they don't complete it? It won't come as a shock to them, in other words.
No, we've sent many communications. As you can imagine, we've got 1,800 drivers, and we've been really successful in getting those through the test. We've got between 60 and 70 that haven't completed. So no, we've sent out many communications, but we feel we need to do a final. If you don't do it, this is going to happen. So it's very, very clear. And then if they challenge that, because they've always got a right of appeal, of course, against the suspension to the court, we've got the documentation then to show that they were pre-warned. And that'll be going out on email and in the post as well.
One further point. I know we've had, and I've not been on licensing for a long time, so I'm rather out of date. The large number of drivers we've got currently who have licenses issued by other authorities, Wolverhampton, etc., does this training cover them, or are they exempt from it?
So for individuals that are licensed with us, they have to complete the mandatory training. So in relation to other licensing authorities, they'll have their own requirements, but there is statutory guidance around safeguarding training. So Wolverhampton, for example, do have their own training facilities that they provide to drivers, as do most of the local authorities that license taxi drivers.
And do they take the same firm line that we're proposing to? But if they don't complete it, no?
I don't know about licensed drivers. Certainly going forward now, it's a requirement and has been for a couple of years that all of our drivers, before we grant, so this is new individuals coming into the taxi licensing business, have to complete this before we will issue. And I'm really sorry, I don't know what the standards are across other authorities.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Councillor Pitcroft.
Thank you, Chair. It's just picking up on something that Patricia said there. If we have drivers that don't take this mandatory training and they come for suspension, is that those suspensions going to be automatic through delegated powers, or will they be going through committee?
They'll go through delegated powers, and hopefully, obviously, if we suspend through delegated powers, there's a requirement in the scheme of delegation that it refers to lurk following that suspension. But what we're hoping, of course, is that most of those that have been suspended will then complete the training.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Just on that point, Councillor Hayes, for your information, that this is the last communication we are sending, and this time we will be taking a firm action. If anybody is not doing training, I will, in my next meeting with the trade, I will make it clear that we will not going to give any more time this time. So this is final communication. If anybody is not doing, we will suspend. And I have already communicated to the trade, and in next meeting we'll definitely bring this up, that nobody can complain after that. We have given enough time to people to do this training, and this time there will be an action.
I'm delighted to hear it, Executive Member, if I may say so, but it still leaves a concern about differing standards with other authorities. Do the public perhaps need to know that our drivers have this training, but that doesn't guarantee that drivers from other authorities or licensed by other authorities will?
So this is a problem we all are facing regarding Wolverhampton and other authorities. And there's a lot of conversation going on, obviously through Greater Manchester as well. In the background, we are trying, obviously, our best to rectify this. There are things which are not in our hand, but we are trying our best to do the work, whatever is needed to rectify this situation of outside drivers, and then we have no control over them. So this is a bigger problem, not only with this training,
Yeah.
this is a bigger problem for us, a challenge, kind of challenge for all of us. And we are working on this with Greater Manchester to stop this in the future.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Okay. You're happy to note that, Councillor Karam? Yep.
Yeah. There's no other hands? No? Oh. Then item 2 is Swan Lane, St. Heliers Street and punch orders report.
I'll take that one, Chair.
You'll take copy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. So, as members will be aware, these are traffic regulation reports. John and I have the authority under the scheme of delegation to approve traffic regulation orders unless we receive any complaints or objections through the consultation process. So this report and the next report, we've received objections. So this one in particular, these come about. So the way we do traffic regulations or orders is we'll be on a ward basis. Generally they come from the ward members. So this came as a request from the ward members to consider introducing one-way system around some of the roads which are listed in the report on Punch Street, St. Heliers Street, Essendon and Swan Lane. We consulted on all of those. Majority were received no objections, but we did receive an awful lot of objections for introducing a one-way order on Swan Lane. So the report is to approve one-way system as on Punch Street, St. Heliers Street and Essendon Street, and we will not be approving the one-way order on Swan Lane. All the costs are included in the report. They're all covered by ward funding by the ward councillors, and it also just includes a line there to authorise the borough solicitor to undertake any of the legal formalities, and happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Gwen. Any questions? Councillor Patel.
It's not a question. I think it's more about the process. As you can imagine, any traffic orders creates a lot of interest in this particular one. The community obviously I've been asking for something around there for a long time, and there's lots of issues and lots of schools in both areas. So I just want to obviously say thanks to the officers that worked on it, and I think they've done an exceptional job considering the level of interest that the 3 hours did generate, especially the one around Swan Lane. And I think the decision that we've come to is best in place for what the community wants. So just a big thanks to the officers that worked on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.
There is no other question, so report is noted and approved as recommended. Next item is Astley Bridge Ward proposed various streets, no waiting and no waiting at any time restrictions. When again, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So this is a similar traffic regulation order report, which includes, this is the normal kind of traffic regulation order that would come through this process. And this is to introduce lots of waiting restrictions. So these are single yellow lines in a lot of places, and a lot of them are around protecting junctions and areas where just to enable safer flow on the network, really. Similar to the last report, we have received a lot of inquiries about this and a lot of objections. What we try to do, particularly where we're installing any no waiting or singles or double yellow lines, we do try to take on board some of the issues, and we'll reduce the lines if we can. But obviously, it's all in consultation with the ward councillors. So some of these areas have been slightly altered on the back of some of the objections and the consultation that was received. All the plans are in the back of the report. Like I said, it's fully supported by the ward councillors, and all the costs are included in the report as well, and the ward budgets will cover all the costs. Thank you.
Any question on that? No. So thank you. Report is noted and approved as recommended. Next, item 4 is Hackney Carriage and Private Hire Vehicle Examination Framework Contract. Patricia.
Yeah, that's me. Thank you. So members will be aware that we're responsible for licensing both Hackney Carriage and private hire vehicles. And for the purpose of ascertaining if a vehicle licence can be issued, a vehicle has to pass an examination completed by one of the council's contracted vehicle examination providers. We're currently party to a tender contract for the provision of MOT testing and also the statutory vehicle compliance check. The vehicle examination, of course, is applied to both Hackney Carriage and private hire. The previous contract was awarded to 3 vehicle examination providers. The contracts commenced in January 2022 and continued for an initial term of 2 years. And in accordance with the contract, the term was extended for a further 2 years, and that contract now expires in January of next year. It's proposed to retender the vehicle examination framework contract. The contract period will be again for 2 years, commencing in January 2026, with an option again to extend the contract for a further 2 years if we deem that's appropriate. The income generated for vehicle examinations is paid directly to the vehicle examiner, and that's paid by the vehicle proprietor. So there's no transactions with the council in relation to funds. We don't pay for anything. They don't pay the cash to us. We don't pay the cash to anybody else. Hackney Carriage and private hire proprietors are entitled to choose whichever provider we authorise. That's completely up to them who they choose to carry out that vehicle examination. So there's no guarantee for those successful providers of any volume of our vehicles. And our vehicles, and we run at about 1,450 vehicles, and those are tested twice a year, but there's no guarantee that you would get the lion's share, if you like, of those vehicle tests, because that's completely the choice of the individual licence holders. The contracts will be procured following the council standing orders, and there'll be evaluation of those individuals putting themselves forward, and then evaluation to ensure quality of service for both private hire Hackney Carriage and also for the travelling public. So the recommendation is that the exec cab member approves the procurement of a tender framework contract for Hackney Carriage and private hire vehicle examinations for the period 2026-2027 and 2027-2028. So that's the 2 years, with an option to extend the contract for a further 2 years following those dates. We're also asking that the borough solicitor be authorised to complete all the legal formalities, and that once we've completed the tender process, delegated authority be provided to the Director of Place to enable us to appoint and issue the contracts. I've nothing further to add unless there are any questions.
Thank you. Any questions on that? No. Report is noted and approved as recommended.
Thank you.
That concludes our meeting. Thank you for attending, everyone.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank
you.
See you soon.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members.